Hey guys, there is an update about patch, the latest patch. Actually, we have two, but this is a small patch that occurred 2 days ago. It did nothing for co-op. At least some things that weren't fixed are still not fixed. So that previous patch that was like maybe 10 days, 2 weeks ago, uh, that one most of these things are fixed. Not a word about co-op in the patch manifest because they stated this in the previous patch manifest, the hotfix patch the last year, but they actually failed to fix most of these things they said they fixed. So these are all CTG sorted it, and he tested all these things. I helped him test a few he tested on his own with some other people. So he actually did the video where you have the visuals that the things were fixed. But I'm just gonna so if you wanna if you wanna see it, you go to his channel. But I'm gonna just read and comment a little bit. So first one is localization, biomass and essence drops now properly scale on some non-English locales. Okay, that's we can test this because I also use English, but I heard that it's tested, that it's fixed. Fixed an issue where gateways could automatically transform into warp gates after warp gate research completion, even if a unit was in production. That was a pretty big problem for the Protoss for all the Protoss. Actually, not all, not for Zeratul, because Zeratul doesn't have warp gates, and Artanis has them automatically. So yeah, Vorazun, Alarak, Karax, Phoenix. So that was the problem for these Protoss commanders, where if you have a unit in production, it was kind of really annoying when that unit was just about to complete when the actually the warp gate upgrade completes, and then it cancels that unit and start transforming into the warp gate. So now it's fixed and it waits for unit to finish, and then it transforms into warp gate. Okay, then we have units with frenzied passive no longer get stunned with Stank's headbutt, Hunterling sleep attack, and stun abilities from void shards and slivers. That's fixed. So units with frenzied, those are brutalisks. I believe also Zagara when she uses frenzy, but no, somebody told that once that Mother Apex Predator Zagara is frenzied, but she is not. Okay, Odin is I think also frenzied, and yeah, all Ultralisks are frenzied units. Okay, so hybrid Plasma Blast no longer can damage Nova through Stance Dance invulnerability. This is fixed, so if hybrid Stance Dance is when the invulnerability when Nova switches from the assault mode to the cloaked mode, and if hybrid dominator targets Nova with plasma blast, it's like 3 seconds charge up time, and then Nova changes suit, then it will be cancelled, so it won't even attack and not do damage. It will be cancelled. So yeah. And I mean, hybrid, it's not cancelled because hybrid cannot see Nova. Hybrids are dominators or detectors, so yeah, this is definitely fixed. And then when the invulnerability times out, then the hybrid will actually shoot. Toxic nests can no longer be placed on top of Swan's flaming betties. Yeah, that was a problem. That's fixed. Previously, if you place toxic upon a flaming betty, then it cannot rise and fire. Okay. Toxicness can now properly be drag selected and control click selected or double click selected. I already made a video about this. This is the most important thing for me, at least. Like, this is really really great for Abatur. Okay, so now you don't have to hold shift and select them one by one. You can like control select, drag select, double click select. Although when you lure, previously they won't be able to be box selected. But now, so you when you box select and you have the spore crawler there, which you use for luring, then previously it would be selected, but now the toxicness prioritized. So if you box select, then the toxicness will be selected and not the spore, or both. I think it won't. It's just toxicness. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, but still, it's a really good fix. Okay, borrowed swarm host and unborrowed swarm host are no longer treated as different units when control clicked. That's fixed, and now they're just different subgroups. Okay, this is kind of okay, but sometimes I actually like that they are not the same units, so I can keep better track on them, which I've deactivated if I don't want brutalisks. But okay, I mean, still, like, you have two subgroups if some are borrowed, some not, so it's still okay. Okay, structure overcharge. Okay, this is actually the three things with the polarity: structural overcharge, Alarak structural overcharge, and then we have some other things. Phoenix. There is the Phoenix. Sorry, Cannon Horner's Widow Mines. Can no longer lock and fire on units in polarity. That thing, and Hyperion no longer attacks units in polarity. So now all three are fixed. That's pretty good because they couldn't do damage, so they were just wasting shots on units they cannot damage. But mag mines can still immune units still draw aggro of the mag mines. That's because I don't think it's even a bug. I think this is how mag mines work. They have kind of proximity sensor. They will aggro at anything, any enemy unit that passes by, even the super cloaked Nova. Like, but that's super cloaked units like super cloaked Nova. But that's actually good because when Nova passes by, will aggro the mines, and that's the efficient way of cleaning the minefield even in enemy territory without being afraid that something will attack a Nova, except of course the mine itself if you don't dodge properly, but or if you don't attack something, and Nova, of course, by attacking Nova you loses the super cloak for 4 seconds. But yeah, that's I think mag mines are kind of different. Karax, wait, where were we? Okay, Arkship Commandant Unbound Fanatics now properly spawn if orbital strikes are targeted on top of structures or siege tanks. Okay, that's fixed. So now if you like wanna clear the rocks in your expansion and you just spam orbitals in the middle of the rocks, the Archons will spawn at the sides. Okay, fix an issue with the range buff for devouring and air units with devouring 1. Yeah, now previously if you devoured air units, the buff, the units wouldn't receive the buff, the +2 range, but now they do. So this is fixed. Okay, fixed an issue where the Kron and Tyrannosaurs could instantly get killed when double-edged was active. I do believe CTG didn't test Tyrannosaur, but it tested the Kron. We actually did it together, but we didn't test the Kron, Tyrannosaurs. But as for the Kron, I think it's the same thing with Tyrannosaurus. The Kron is now actually bugged in a different way on the other end. Previously it could like kill itself immediately, but now it's actually immune to double-edged, so it doesn't receive any damage by dealing damage, and that's now will make the Kron really OP against double-edged. So yeah, that's it. Maybe I test Tyrannosaurus once. Widow Mines. Okay, we did this. Fix an issue with temporal field. Okay, this is for 2 units. Where temporal field could make sentinels unable to die while reconstruction was available, and the same thing is for the Kerrigan's Thorax Ultralisk. So if they are killed while being in a temporal field, they actually won't die until the temporal field dissipates if they have active reconstruction, because if it's spent, if they already used the ability and it's on cooldown, then they would die, and this is still not fixed. So sentinels are still unable to die while in the temporal field, and also the Torasks. Okay, so fixed an issue where Raptor Zerglings could be counted towards units made count when they leap. That's also not fixed. So in the score screen bug, you will see a lot more units than you actually made because they leaped. Okay, immobilization wave now properly deals expected 200 with 30 points with a full mastery in the augmented immobilization wave mastery. Now this is fixed. This was a problem because it previously was dealing one less, so it was dealing 199 damage, and that would leave stuff like overseers, banshees, what else? Okay, can't remember, but I think there are kind of one or two units also that had 200 HP that survived with 1 HP, and especially like benches are pretty annoying. So it's got Ravens, maybe, I don't know, Ravens 500, I kind of forgot, but no, actually Vipers, I think, yeah, Vipers. Now they all die, so that's really good. Now that is fixed. Okay, fix an issue. Temporal. Okay. Mecha Hydraulic Juice payload is now properly affected by attack upgrades. So that's fixed. Previously, I think that it wasn't multiplying. I mean, it wasn't considering the attack upgrades. So that's fixed. Infested Diamondbacks are now properly affected by the Mecha Attack Speed Mastery. That is fixed, but I think other beam attackers still are not. Okay, volatile infested drop by infested tanks. On that no longer cost supply. And if the infested siege tank died, it would spawn volatile infested, but they would cost supply. So now when infested tank is dead, immediately like it lowers your supply by 3, which is the supply of infested tanks. So it's this is fixed. Stukov can now properly root buildings in the fog of war. That's also fixed. You just need to have a vision of creep there, because if you previously explored that area and it wasn't creep there, then creep is not visible and still cannot root. But if creep was there, then you can have the remembered vision of the creep. I mean, creep remembered in the fog of war. Then you can root your buildings. That's pretty good, especially for Lord of the Horde, for bunker play. Infested, when you want to reposition your bunkers. Wait, let's see. Did I miss something? I think I didn't. Okay, Stukov. Okay, Warzone Void Shed units on site of Amon can now be mind controlled by Dark Archons. So Void Shed units are the units that came from the Void through those void rifts that void sliver spawn, and so all the pre-placed defenses and all the new units that come through the void rifts during the course of the game, they are all considered void shed units, and they still cannot be mined. This is not fixed. For example, attack waves are not void shed units, so you will see that you be able to mind control those units, but void shed units can still not be mind controlled by Dark Archons. Okay, so this is the fourth one that it's not fixed, and now all these three are. So Scourge nests now can be set rally points until construction is complete. So that's fixed. Void apparitions are no longer counted towards units made count. Zeratul, those void apparitions are those apparitions that ambushers leave behind that shoot enemy units. So unlike the Kerrigan Zerglings, when they leave when these blink, they don't on the score screen. They don't show as the new made units, so that's fixed. And Moment of Silence no longer poses Protoss Warpins while the debuff lasts. So yeah, when something dies, if something heroic dies near your warping units. While they are warping, it will not pause the warping, but when you have a moment of silence mutator, but it will actually finish the warping, but the then warped in, units will be silenced until, of course, it wears off, which is actually how it should work. Okay, so these are these bugs. I said I tested this thing just now to see if this latest tiny patch that was after the main patch, like this patch was like 2 days ago or so, and it still cannot be mind controlled. So I believe that these other three things that were not fixed, they are still not fixed. Probably it was just hotfix for something in Versus. Okay, so this is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you liked it, and yeah, watch my other videos too.